Hey everybody, it's Jim. So today I wanted to try something a little different, but a lot of fun, and hopefully it'll hold everyone over until Survivor Branford Season 6 starts this fall. So what you're looking at right now is the Survivor Simulator for a website called Brant Steel. And as you can see, I can literally pick any season of Survivor and simulate an outcome using real players, or anyone that I choose really. So I thought that it would be tons of fun to try this out for Survivor Branford using 20 of our best players from the past. And I decided to use the Survivor Cambodia framework down there in the bottom left corner to base this season off of. So in this season we have all 5 of our winners competing, as well as a variety of other fan favorites and all-stars. And for this simulation, I'll come out of retirement just for this one time. So we have 2 tribes, and I've decided to split them by gender, something we've never done before in Survivor Branford. So on the beach tribe, you'll find Alba from Season 3. She made it all the way to the final tribal council. We have Amanda, who's played in every season of Survivor Branford and finally reached the final 3 last year in Season 5. We have Angela, Season 1 winner. Autumn and Brittany, both 3-time players. We have Danielle, the winner of Season 3, and Jamin, the winner of Season 5. Then we have Mare, who might have been the breakout star of Season 5. We have Meredith, the only player to make it to the final 3 on 2 separate occasions. And then we have Sam, who was oh so close to winning Season 3. On the Rice tribe, we have our guys. So we have Charlie, who made his debut in Season 5. We have Dennis, who has played all 5 seasons, the only male to be able to make that claim. We have myself. We have Joe, who's a 2-time player and quickly becoming a staple of Survivor Branford. There's Kyle, the winner of Season 4. We have Larry, who some of you may not be familiar with. He's a Season 1 player and friend of the show. Then we have 2 Marks. We have Mark Sayer, who is the winner of Season 2. And then Mark Spong, who played twice and made it to the final 3 in Season 5. We have Rob, thought to be perhaps the most dominant challenge competitor in Survivor Branford history. And then finally we have Steve, another 3-time player whose game has been all over the place every time he's played. So before we get going, I have a very special guest to bring in. So please give a big welcome to the host of Survivor, Jeff Probst.
Thank you. Finally, I've been wanting to get in here for so long.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, Jeff. I hope your day's been going well so far.
I felt Survivor love all morning.
And Jeff, I know we only have a few minutes of your time today, so let's jump right in.
Got it.
So to me, one thing that makes this simulation so exciting is that everyone on the board has played Survivor at least 1 time, some up to as many as 5 times. What's your first impression of the cast?
Let's talk about our returning players, because I'm very excited to have them here. When they said yes, it was a very fun day.
So what do you think about Danielle? She won her 3rd season, and I'm not sure if she's retired at this point, but she hasn't played again since then. What do you see for her coming into this game?
I think Danielle could last for a while. What Danielle is really good at is aligning with the right people and then staying out of the way, and I'd say makes her a decent threat to be in this game way past the merge.
So let's talk about one of our newer favorites, Joe. What have you thought about watching him play before?
Joe was another one of those guys. He has such an engaging personality. Fit like I wish I was. And I'm hoping that Joe does not get lumped into the old guy category. Joe has to get into a strong alliance initially, and if he does and he can get some momentum, I think his survivor instincts will kick in and he'll do really well.
I'd have to agree, Jeff, but if Joe's getting lumped into the old guy category, then surely I must be right there with him. So let's talk about Angela. Right now she's on the verge of a major career milestone, something that she's been working many years towards. How do you think that'll affect her mindset going into the game?
Angela is another person coming into the game at a really interesting point in their life. Suddenly, for the first time in her life, Angela has time to just focus on Angela. Angela could flame out on day 1. It could overwhelm her. Or Angela could bury her head for a minute, take a look around, get her bearings, and be phenomenal.
So Jeff, what do you think about Amanda? She's played all 5 seasons, and for the first time last year, she made it to the final tribal council, but came up 1 vote short. What advice would you give to her?
Amanda, The only thing Amanda lacks from being the greatest female hero ever is the closing argument. She needs to go watch The Verdict, watch Paul Newman work a jury over. That's what you got to do in this game to win.
Now, even though this is a simulation, I have to say that it's always a better season when you've got Rob involved. So what do you think about him?
Rob is fascinating in that he started as a villain. He was despised by people, and somehow he transformed into a hero.
And if I were betting and I had one shot to put my money on somebody, I'd put it on Rob.
So Jeff, I know you love personalities on Survivor, and I think one of our biggest personalities is Steve. What do you have to say about him?
Steve, love this guy. I like him because he loves Survivor and he's enthusiastic about Survivor. He knows how to pump himself up. He knows what a competition is. And I'm guessing he's probably pretty good at social dynamics. I would love to see Steve go deep in the game.
Well, Jeff, I wish we had time to preview all 20 players, but as I said before, I know you have very limited time, and I am very happy that you were able to join me for just this brief period. So thanks so much for coming in, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Jeff. So let's get this show on the road. So again, this is following the framework of Survivor Cambodia, so everything that you'll see here is a direct representation of that season, except with Survivor Branford players. So that season started with the typical marooning. Everybody was on the boat and they had to gather all the supplies and jump off the boat. There was one twist, though, however, in which this season there was a bag of rice. Basically, the tribe who first got to it would claim it for themselves and have that advantage right out of the gate. So let's see which tribe is going to get it. Okay, and that's the rice tribe, I guess, appropriately enough. If I had to bet, I would say that Rob probably had a big hand in helping to get that, as he's a great swimmer and probably was the fastest over there. So the rice tribe gets the bag of rice, and we're off to a good start. So let's see how the simulator is predicting the alliances will go. So I guess we start with the beach tribe, day one on their camp. And it looks like we have two alliances that have formed. Alliance number one, we have Alba, Jamin, Mare, and Sam. Hard to tie those four players together. Seems like a mishmash of people. It says that their overall strength is a 7, so fairly loyal to each other. And each player has different ideas of how much they trust in this alliance, with Jamin appearing to be the most loyal to the group of four, and Alba may be questioning it still a bit, but did agree to be in that alliance. And then we have a second rival alliance on the tribe, which is stronger overall in terms of the loyalty. We have Amanda, Autumn, and Meredith, which is quite interesting. And Danielle has joined them, probably sensing that she would get some good cover to be in there with them. And also interesting to see that Amanda and Autumn are each with a 9, so very loyal to this group. Meredith only with a 5, so it'll be interesting to see how she treats this coming up. Will she stick with this group or jump ship? So that'll be something to keep her eye on. And I guess that would leave Angela and Brittany on the outs. So if the beach tribe goes to tribal council, we'll have to see if it's one of those two, or if both of these alliances are looking to pull over both of them to give them the majority in the tribe. So now let's see what's going on with the rice tribe. Okay, so here we also have two alliances that have formed. We have alliance number 1 is Larry, Rob, and Steve. Overall, a 9 alliance in strength, so very strong, with each player also very loyal to that group. So this seems like a tight-knit, unbreakable trio quite early in the game. And then there's a second alliance on the tribe, which is Dennis, myself, and Mark Spong, with a strength of 8, so also fairly strong alliance. I guess from my perspective, I'd be glad to be in this alliance, as I've worked closely with Dennis in a season in the past for pretty much the entire game. And then Mark, who I don't know how else to say, is probably the best alliance mate you could hope for. His undying loyalty to the group, the first group that he's a part of, makes him a huge asset. So you've got to figure, and when Mark's on your side, he is going nowhere. But that could also make for a huge blindside if he decides to play it a little differently. So let's go to the immunity challenge. And the first challenge of Survivor Cambodia was a quest for fire. This is the very classic challenge, actually the very first immunity challenge that Survivor ever did back in season 1. Basically, you're taking a raft out into the ocean, you're lighting torches, and then you're bringing it back and lighting the Burning Man on fire to win the challenge. And also, for those fans of Survivor Cambodia, you might remember that Kelly Wentworth found a hidden immunity idol during this challenge. So that's not the case here, but just an interesting piece of trivia. So let's go ahead and see who wins this challenge. Okay, and the Beach Tribe wins this challenge. Pretty interesting. I would have loved to see this play out for real. I would have thought that the Rice Tribe might be a little stronger, especially I know some of the Beach Tribe members aren't great swimmers, but hey, you know what? They found a way to pull it out, and congratulations to them. It looks like they also win a fire-making kit with this challenge, so, you know, it seemed like the bag of rice that the Rice Tribe got early on didn't really do them much good here, so Beach is going to be safe for the night, and Rice is going to be heading to Tribal Council. So we'll go back to the Beach Tribe first and see how the victors are getting on with each other. And would you look at that? So Autumn has found the hidden immunity idol for Beach. So she's doing herself one better than in Season 5 when she found the clue right away, but never was able to capitalize on that. Here, I don't know if she found a clue or needed to, but she's got the idol, so her game's off to a strong start. And then she's just having a fantastic episode here as her behavior is also becoming appreciated around camp by the majority of the tribe. So she is in well with everyone. I think she's been doing a great job. She started the fire right when they came back and has been cooking the food. So Autumn's putting herself in a great spot. We'll have to see how long that goodwill holds up for and if she's going to be long for this game, which I'm sure she's rooting for, given in reality the past few seasons haven't gone great for her. Okay, so I guess that's all happening for Beach Tribe in episode 1. So now we can visit the Rice Tribe camp. And no one has found the idol still for Rice, so they won't have to worry about that for Tribal Council, although I guess they don't know it. And then it appears that the alliance of Larry, Rob, and Steve has been upgraded to what they're calling a very strong alliance. So these three, I said before, they might be inseparable. It seems that that might even be the case even more now, so I guess you gotta watch out for them. If the rest of the tribe realizes how tight these guys are, they might try to break them up right away. So let's see what happens at Tribal Council. Okay, so the Rice Tribe is at Tribal Council. We know we have that very tight alliance. We also have the other alliance of myself, Dennis, and Mark Spong, which seemed fairly tight. It'll be interesting to see if the two alliances work together against the other four, or if they try to take each other on and pick up the other 4 votes. So let's see what happens. So everybody votes, and the first vote is for Larry. The second vote is also for Larry. Okay, Mark Sayer has gotten a vote, so 2 votes Larry, 1 vote Mark. Another vote for Mark, so 2 for each. Third vote for Mark, so Mark has 3 votes now, Larry has 2. We're tied again, Larry gets his third vote. Larry now with 4 votes. Mark now with 4 votes, so this is quite a divided tribe right out of the gate. Ooh, that's 5 votes for Mark, 4 votes for Larry. And Mark Sayer is the first person voted out of this Survivor Branford simulation. The winner of Season 2 could not recapture that magic. I'm sure he's quite disappointed in his performance here, but I think he could still be happy with his Season 2 victory. So we had 6 votes for Mark and 4 votes for Larry, and we actually are able to see who voted for whom, so that would be interesting. So let's check that out. Let's try to break this down. Interesting. So I'm looking actually at who voted for Larry. So we have Dennis, myself, and Mark. So our 3 alliance voted for Larry, and we got Mark Sayer to join us. So that was the minority 4. And then everyone else voted for Mark. So I guess those 2 alliances of 3 did actually try to battle it out. We tried to knock out Larry, one of their numbers. They came after Mark, who wasn't really in our alliance, but did vote with us. And I'm saying us just because it's me. I'll try not to be so first person going forward. But I guess Dennis and myself and Mark Spong may be in trouble here if things continue along the way that they are showing right now. So it turns out we have our 20th place finisher here with us. Mark has joined us for just a minute. Mark, what went wrong?
I tend to be very good at getting things that I don't deserve. So I have faith in this being exactly like the rest of my life has been.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Mark. Do you have any parting words for the audience?
So good luck to everyone else. I'm sure it'll be a fun experience for you guys. You can't win everything. So that's also a good experience to have.
All right, thanks again, Mark, for being part of this simulation that you might not even know exists. So let's move on to episode 2. So at the beginning of each episode, it resets the tribes. So here we go. We still have a fully intact beach tribe against a 9-person rice tribe with Mark being sent home. So let's head back to the beach tribe and see what's been going on over there since we last checked in. Well, it looks like we have the same 2 alliances. We have alliance number 1 still just as strong as the last time, still with each member not having really changed their opinion on the group. That probably won't really be tested until this tribe loses a challenge, and then we'll see what happens. And then alliance number 2 also holding strong. Jeff did say that one of Danielle's strengths was to find a good alliance to work with, and it seems like that might be the case. I don't think that she would be the first target, even if they come out on the short end at their first vote. We'll keep our eyes on this situation, and we'll move over to the Rice tribe now. So even though Mark was sent home, he wasn't truly a part of an alliance at that time. So we still have the 2 Rice alliances, the Larry, Rob, and Steve alliance that got the other 3 tribe members to vote with them, and then the Dennis, Jim, Mark Spong alliance, which lost out in the first vote. So I can't help but notice that the other 3 guys, Kyle, Joe, and Charlie, aren't really shown here. I guess the 3 of them aren't their own alliance. They just seem to be doing their own thing. So who knows where their loyalty lies. Maybe we'll find out more as we go. So it looks like we're going to move right into an immunity challenge, no reward challenge this episode. And the immunity challenge is Yank Your Hank. So 3 members have to climb the A-frames, which get progressively steeper than the last one while they're carrying some rope. And then what they're going to do with the rope is pull a heavy crate towards a frame. And then once that's accomplished, they're going to take the puzzle pieces from the crate to solve the puzzle. And the first tribe to do that will win immunity. So we have some great puzzle solvers on each tribe. We'll have to see how carefully each tribe decides to do their roles and who makes the better decision in the long run. So let's see who wins. And we have the Rice tribe winning this challenge. So I had been afraid that the Beach tribe was going to win every challenge, much like in Survivor Branford 5, but that is not what's going to happen here. So the Rice tribe wins the challenge. They're going to even up the numbers, and they win a reward with this challenge, which is a toolkit and materials to help give themselves a better shelter. So maybe that was for the best. Not exactly sure who on the Beach tribe would have been using the toolkit and materials, but I'm sure they missed them just the same. So now we're going to go back to the Beach tribe, who is facing tribal council. Let's see what's going on there. So Autumn still has her idol. She's in a tight alliance, so might not really be needing to use it this time, but you never know. And then Beach Tribe Alliance number 1. It looks like, wow, and Beach Tribe Alliance number 1, the group that I've been saying all along, I couldn't really see what the common link was, has actually dissolved. I think that the drama between Alba and Sam from season 3, they couldn't put it behind them. It eventually tore that group right in half. So now we have one alliance in Beach, which is clearly calling the shots unless these other 6 people can somehow get together, 4 of which just dissolved an alliance. So not looking so good there. It seems as if the Autumn, Amanda, Danielle, Meredith alliance really can control who goes home, even with just a 4, because there's no sure thing that the other 6 people are even going to be on the same page in any way. So let's go to Tribal Council. Actually, we're going to go to the Rice tribe. This fooled me a little bit, because usually on this show, you see the tribe that goes to Tribal Council right before Tribal Council, but not here. I guess we're always going to go to Beach, then Rice. So on the Rice tribe, Charlie has found the idol, so nice job for him. I can remember how much time he put in looking for that idol when it was his head on the chopping block, and he never did find it. Mark already had it. So Charlie's got it now. We'll see what he can do with it. And the Rice Tribe Alliance number 2, which is, I guess, in the minority considering how the last vote went, they're now also a very strong alliance. Interesting, each member is a loyalty 9 to the group, yet the alliance as a whole is only an 8 strength. So not sure of the math there. 3 9s probably would average to a 9, but you never know. There might be some intangible. Maybe the whole is less than the sum of the parts. So now let's bounce back to the Beach Tribe as they head into Tribal Council. So again, Autumn has the idol and is a member of the only alliance currently in that tribe. So the castaways, after taking their grilling from Jeff, steps up to vote. Whoa. Autumn has played the Beach Tribe idol. And not only has she played it, she's played it for Amanda. Now that's quite interesting. We knew that Autumn was a 9 loyalty to her alliance, but this is a whole nother level. I can only imagine Amanda, maybe that paranoia that she's exhibited in the past just came on real strong. Maybe Autumn had told her she had the idol, and Amanda just couldn't resist and pretty much just begged Autumn to play it for her just so that she could be sure to get through the first Tribal Council and get some footing in the game. So we'll see if that was a smart idol play. It's especially risky at the first Tribal Council when you're not playing an idol for yourself. All you're doing is announcing yourself as a threat in the game. That goodwill that Autumn had for starting the fire and cooking all the food back in episode 1 might not mean anything anymore. So let's see how the votes come in. The first vote is for Amanda, so it doesn't count. Looking good so far. Maybe Autumn was onto something, or Amanda just, her sixth sense knew what was going on. Second vote for Sam, so we have 1 vote Sam. 2 votes Sam. Angela with a vote. So 2 votes Sam, 1 vote Angela. 3 votes Sam, 1 vote Angela. That's 2 votes for Angela now. 3 votes for Sam. 4 votes for Sam. This is not looking good. And Sam is the second player voted out of this game. It's tough for her. She was in a 4-person alliance. They were seemingly strong, and then without really any explanation, they just dissolved, and I guess they were left to pick up the pieces there. Now, a lot of people got on the same page in the voting, so we'll have to see how that plays out. Sam, the tribe, has spoken. Let's see how everyone has voted. So what I'm going to try to do is look at who voted in the minority, kind of like the last time. I think that's easier to digest, and then you could lump everyone else in as a big group. So we had 2 votes for Angela, and if Angela's watching this, I'm sure she's not surprised that she's receiving votes, as she often notes she receives votes almost every time she goes to Tribal Council. So Alba and Sam voted for Angela. Quite interesting. I thought those 2 were especially at odds, causing their alliance to break up, but lo and behold, they're on the same page. And then we had 1 stray vote for Amanda, and that's Jamin. So another kind of casualty of that dissolved alliance, seemingly just on her own, voted for Amanda. Everyone else voted for Sam. So we had Angela and Brittany, who were never in an alliance, and then the 4 strong alliance all voted for Sam. So not really sure what Autumn was thinking playing that idol. Just looking at this, and the way I talked it out before, it seems like there was almost no chance Amanda would be going home. How could that happen when you have a rival 4 breaking up their alliance and you have your own 4? It doesn't add up to me. Even a vote split wouldn't have worked. So I don't know, maybe Autumn just was looking to make a big move and it didn't pan out this time. Amanda's safe, Autumn's safe, so not the end of the world, but hopefully she's not kicking herself later, really in a spot where she could have used the idol. So we do have Sam here with us. Thanks for making the time under these tough circumstances.
You ask me questions or just talk?
I can ask you a question. So how do you feel having been voted out first from the tribe?
I'm kind of pissed off.
A very understandable way to be feeling. Do you have any idea why they went after you?
I feel like I led a lot of decisions. I think that's why they voted me out. Yeah, so that's why I feel frustrated.
Okay, that makes sense. I do have one other question. Why did your alliance of 4 just fall apart this last episode? We didn't really get any insight into what happened there.
I've pissed off the most people here.
Oh, that's a tough situation. Hopefully there's something to be learned if you play again. and how to kind of manage the relationships within your tribe. Any final words before we let you go?
I mean, that's the game, but I don't know. I guess I'm kind of blinded by the frustration.
Yeah, it's never easy to be an early boot. I'm sorry to see you go, Sam, but hope to see you again in the future. So with that, let's head on to episode 3. Now we're down to our final 18. Still a long way to go in the game, but hopefully our players have found some footing so far and are ready to keep going. And for those of you who remember Survivor Cambodia, you'll know what's about to happen, so let's waste no time. So we have a twist. With the final 18, basically we are going to go from 2 tribes to 3 tribes, and the third tribe, the unfortunate group, will be sent to a deserted beach with nothing. So that's going to be a gigantic disadvantage to them to literally have to start the game over. So let's see how the random draw plays out. On the new beach tribe, we have Alba, Autumn, Charlie, Danielle, Jamin, and Steve. So we have 4 former beach members together. Danielle and Autumn were in the same alliance. Jamin and Alba used to be aligned with each other, but maybe aren't anymore. Still unsure about that whole situation, despite what Sam just told me a few minutes ago. And then we've got Charlie and Steve, who did work together the first time we went to Tribal, but never were really in an alliance officially. You'd have to think that naturally the girls will gravitate towards each other and try to go after Charlie or Steve if this group has to go to Tribal Council. So that's just my prediction. We'll see how it plays out with the Beach Tribe. Let's take a look at the Rice Tribe now. The new Rice Tribe has Brittany, Dennis, myself, Kyle, Mark, and Meredith. And I have to say that Dennis, myself, and Mark hit the jackpot with this one. We are a tight alliance already. We were never really working with Kyle before, but might think about trying to pull him in if we want to do the guys versus the girls thing. Brittany and Meredith are an interesting couple to have over here. They weren't necessarily working together. Brittany didn't really have any kind of an alliance, while Meredith is separated from her very strong alliance, despite her being the least loyal to it. So it'll be interesting if it's recognized off the bat how close Dennis, Mark, and I are in the game. One of the others might try to latch on to that and create a majority 4. So I guess we could figure out who's going to the new tribe, the Horse Tribe, on the desolate beach. So let's make it official. So we have Amanda, Angela, Joe, Larry, Mare, and Rob. So this is an interesting mix of people as well. For the girls, you have 3 people who were never really working together, period. Amanda's entire alliance is elsewhere. Angela didn't have an alliance, and Mare's alliance was the one that fell apart. So we'll have to see how those 3 try to work together, if they do at all. You've got Larry and Rob, so that's 2/3 of the tight Rice alliance together, so they may form a nucleus in this tribe. Joe, we don't really have a feel for his game yet. He did vote in the majority the first time Rice went to Tribal Council. It remains to be seen what his strategy is here. So this may be the most interesting of the tribes. It's split 3-3 relative to their starting tribes. So this might be the hardest one to predict if they do have to go to Tribal Council. I will say that this group does look pretty strong, so they may not be losing challenges, especially when all you have to do is not finish last, when you have the 3-tribe format. Enough of my speculation. Let's see what the simulator is telling us is going on now. So on the Beach Tribe, it does look like we are going to split by gender, just the natural gravitation towards each other. But you could see that none of these alliances are particularly strong. They're only a matter of convenience, really, at this point. But this does affirm the fact that Charlie and Steve may be in trouble unless they could pull something. Charlie does have a hidden immunity idol, so that could loom large. Let's see what's going on at Rice. So at the Rice camp, it looks like Dennis, Mark, and I are beginning to work with Kyle, probably again just because we're the most familiar with Kyle at this point in the game, leaving Brittany and Meredith to pair up and try to do what they can from the bottom. And then on the Horse Tribe, again, I guess no one's playing a really creative game at this point, but that's okay, we're still early. So we have the girls aligned together, the guys aligned together. Not incredibly strong alliances, but again, you do have that Larry-Rob combo who have been working closely together. Maybe they could make Joe their new Steve. So let's go to the immunity challenge and see what happens when these tribes compete against each other for the first time. So the challenge this time is Dragon the Dragon. So what's going to happen is that each tribe is going to push a cart through a course and stop along the way, retrieve some keys. Ultimately, they will unlock a chest and cart the chest to the finish. Once they've got all their chests, what they'll do is open them up, use the pieces inside, and make a puzzle. And again, the first 2 tribes to finish this win immunity. And if memory serves right, I believe this is the challenge that Jeremy found a hidden immunity idol in Survivor Cambodia. I think I can remember him distinctively kneeling on the ground, untying something and stuffing it into his cargo pants. But enough with that. Let's see how this goes. And the beach tribe finishes first, so they're immune. Charlie and Steve don't have to sweat it out this time. I think they felt that pressure and it really drove them to perform their best in this challenge. So Beach will go home happy. And who will be joining them in safety? It's the horse tribe. So yes, this is a strong tribe, but they have been living in very rough conditions. We didn't know what kind of physical toll that would have taken on them, but it seems like they were able to just focus on this challenge. The adrenaline was pumping, and they pulled out a win. So the horse tribe is also going to be safe, and that leaves the new rice tribe with the unfortunate assignment of tribal council. So before that, let's check back in with our tribes and see how things have evolved since the last time we saw them. So over at Beach, we knew that Charlie had the idol, and he still is in possession of it. And then we have Jamin has now found an idol. That must be the idol that Autumn played. It was re-hidden at the beach camp, and Jamin took advantage of that, and now she's got it. So the guys on that tribe have an idol, which maybe they could use, but now the girls have one to strike right back. I can't wait for this group to go to tribal council. And then Alba's been putting in good work lately, getting in good graces with her tribe mates. She really has made Steve and Charlie feel welcomed, gave them a tour of the camp, gave them a couple extra scoops of rice to reward them for helping out at that challenge. So right now, nobody's thinking that Alba needs to go. She's positioning herself pretty well, so I think she might have her eyes on the merge. But again, with 18 people left still, that's a little ways off, but Alba is closing episode 3 on a pretty high note. Now let's head back to the Rice tribe, so I won't be fooled again. This is the tribe that's going to tribal council, and strangely, for the tribe that's going to tribal council, there is absolutely nothing happening. That's pretty disappointing. I guess that the 4 guys are just locked in. They're totally shutting down any conversations that Brittany's trying to have with them, Meredith is trying to have with them. Meredith and Brittany might not be working too closely together. At this point, it might just be each of them trying to throw the other under the bus. We'll see what happens, but this tribal council might be pretty straightforward in that the guys are just going to simply decide on a name, and then that'll be done. They even have the luxury of splitting the vote 2-2, and then even if Meredith and Brittany do vote together, that's okay, because then there'll just be a tie. The guys could all vote for whoever they originally wanted out. So they're in good shape. We'll see what happens. Let's take a look at the horse camp. So at the new beach, Joe has found the idol, so that's great news for him. He's been playing a quiet game to this point, but maybe he's just waiting a little bit to get things rolling, and it seems like this might be step 1 towards some of his ultimate plans. So we'll have to keep a close eye on Joe. He might be one to watch. But coming off that high of finding the idol, it looks like Joe came crashing right back down to earth as he and Rob had a bit of a fight, a little bit of a dust-up at camp. It seems that Rob wasn't so happy that Joe's been spending a lot of time with Mare on this tribe. Those two have really been hitting it off, and it's making Rob a little nervous. So he had to put his foot down and call Joe out on that and say, "Hey, what are you doing? I thought we were together on this. This is extremely important. It's a 3-3 split here. We need you solidly with us." To which Joe replied, he was just being friendly. There wasn't any strategic conversation going on. If anything, he was trying to find out the dynamics of the old beach tribe, but didn't really get anything. So hopefully, for Joe and Rob's sake, they could put this little disagreement behind them and continue to move forward as a strong horse tribe. So now we're headed to tribal council, and we have the Rice tribe. So no idols among this group, and from all appearances, It's a clear 4-2 division here based on original tribal lines, so let's see what happens. So everybody votes. And the first vote was for Kyle. And the second vote was also for Kyle. Okay, now Dennis picks up a vote, already scratching my head. Another vote for Dennis. Okay, Kyle with a third vote, so 3 votes Kyle, 2 votes Dennis. Will we have a tie here? No. So Kyle is the next to be voted out of this game. 4 votes for Kyle. The second winner we've lost already in 3 episodes. I wonder if that's going to be a running theme throughout this simulation. Players going after the winners. I'm really puzzled at what happened here. We saw the proof earlier that it was the 4 guys in an alliance and the 2 girls, yet we had 4 votes for Kyle, 2 votes for Dennis. So let's see exactly what went down. So the 2 votes for Dennis were Kyle, which we knew that, and Brittany. So that leaves the 3 guys that had been tight from the beginning of the game, along with Meredith, to go after Kyle. So somewhere along the line, the guys dumped Kyle and brought Meredith into the fold. So maybe they're going to be working with her. Brittany clearly on the outs now. She's going to really have to cause some chaos to stay in the game. She might resort to her fake idol strategy again. She almost was able to pull something off in Season 5, drawing a few votes away from her, but didn't quite get there in the end. Now I'm a little nervous for what we have coming up. I hope this is not too awkward, but Kyle, I really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
I'm not talking to anybody.
Oh, come on, it'll be over in just a minute.
What am I saying?
So how would you describe what just happened from your perspective?
Basically, it's you 4 opening out like that, like Kate.
Was that a blindside to you, or did you see it coming?
I talked to Dennis. I know that you guys are 4 strong.
Yeah, I guess that's not entirely surprising that Dennis would do something like that. So given you might have had some heads up, what were you doing leading up to Tribal Council?
My back was against the wall. I tried to switch some things up, but...
So did you learn anything about yourself from this experience? Anything that you might try to do differently next time?
I don't know. Sometimes I can be too nice of a guy, so if I make, like, amends with someone, I might end up sticking with it, and it might screw me over in the end.
Yeah, well, again, Kyle, so sorry. Somebody had to go. It was a small group of 6. I hope you can forgive me. Any final words?
Give it a good shot, you know.
You know, I really hope I'm not in this awkward position of having voted someone out and then having to interview them shortly thereafter, but who knows. Let's see what happens in episode 4. So after the last vote, we are left with our fully intact beach tribe. We have Rice now down Kyle, and the horse tribe is still whole as well. So let's see if anything has shaken up at the camps since we were last there. And that's simply a no for beach. We have Jamin and Charlie each with an idol, and on the opposite side of the vote, at least at this moment, at the Rice camp we have the original Rice Alliance, now with a 9 strength, and I'll co-sign on that math this time. And we have the original beach members, Brittany and Meredith, in an alliance. However, they did not vote together. Meredith did vote with the guys, but I guess she is not a member of that alliance yet. I wouldn't think that they used her just to seize control of the group, but maybe they still need another vote for her to prove her loyalty to them. And on the horse tribe, things look to be the same on paper. Joe has his idol, and a little bit of a beef with Rob. There are a few murmurs going on around camp of a potential showmance between Joe and Mare, so that will be very interesting. They're in separate alliances right now, but maybe they're just trying to keep up appearances. It'll be fascinating to see what happens when their loyalty to each other is tested against their loyalty to their original tribe, if and when they do go to Tribal Council. So let's go to the reward challenge. So this challenge is Stampede. And oh, this is the hero challenge, and I love this idea. I wish Survivor did this more often, but basically the tribe is going to choose one person to do the entire challenge from start to finish and represent their tribe. So what's going to happen here is that each tribe is going to pick one member, and that member is going to go out into the water, grab some sandbags and come back, and then they're going to put the sandbag on the end of a plank and then jump on the other end, kind of like a seesaw, teeter-totter type thing, and then launch the sandbags into an overhead net. So the first 2 tribes to get all 3 of their sandbags into the net will win the reward. So before we even see who wins the challenge, let's see who's going to be participating in it. So the beach tribe has chosen Jamin. It's a tough decision because those who are best at the challenges may not be too keen to put themselves out there as a huge threat in front of everybody on such a stage. But the tribe also is desperate to win a reward, so it's a tough balancing act. Do you go for the short-term benefit of a reward, or do you look more at the long-term benefit of potentially masking your abilities for an individual challenge later in the game? So nonetheless, Jamin has stepped forward. Not sure if it was voluntary or not, but here she is. The Rice tribe has chosen Brittany. So we have Brittany versus Jamin versus Amanda. So we have none of the guys in this challenge. This seems to be a fairly even matchup. And let's get this challenge on. So Amanda came through for the horse tribe. And in a big way, they win a full barbecue set with sausage and vegetables and all the fixins. Amanda did particularly well at this challenge. She didn't miss a single shot. She got in the rhythm early and really it was all over before it even started. So this is a big lift for the horse tribe. They could probably use that reward more than anyone else given that they went to the bare bones camp. So let's see who takes the consolation prize. And the Rice tribe finishes second. So they get a smaller reward. They get a wok and vegetables. So no sausages for them, but still a decent meal. So Brittany came through for the tribe. Maybe felt like she had something to prove, as a case can be made that she's the one on the bottom of this group. Hopefully she can parlay this into more longevity in the game. And now we're going to go right into the immunity challenge. And the challenge is blind leading the blind. So this is a classic challenge. One of the tribe members will be the caller up in a tower. The rest of the tribe will be blindfolded and responsible for retrieving large puzzle pieces. And then once everybody is back with all of their pieces, the group can take off their blindfolds and construct the puzzle. So again, the first 2 tribes to finish the challenge will win immunity. So let's see what happens. So Rice wins immunity. That's a big win for them. They did not want to go to tribal council again with only 5 members left. Mark took the leadership role of being the caller for the tribe and did an outstanding job. He doesn't raise his voice too often, but when he does, it commands your full attention. So a good job by the Rice tribe. And then finishing second will be the Horse tribe. So the 2 tribes that won reward also win immunity here. Horse still cruising along through the game despite the living conditions, and all 6 of them will live to see at least episode 5. So that leaves us with the Beach tribe, who will be heading to tribal council in just a few hours. So in the lead up to tribal council, we're reminded that Charlie has an idol, Jamin has an idol, and in addition to that, Charlie and Steve have gone off the rails. They have dissolved their alliance. It was never a strong alliance, and if I had to speculate, I would guess that they both realized that the 4 that they're up against are not looking to break anytime soon, the Autumn, Danielle, Alba, Jamin alliance, so thinking that those 2 are just trying to persuade the 4 girls to vote the other out. And Charlie has a distinct advantage that even if he thinks he's not gaining traction with them, he'll just play his idol, and whoever he wants to go home will. Chances are he didn't tell Steve about the idol because they don't seem to really be seeing eye to eye strategically right now. So yes, this does look to be a clear 4 versus 2, or 4 versus 1 versus 1, but with 2 idols in the mix, there could be some fireworks at tribal. So before we get there, let's see what's going on with the other 2 tribes. So over at Rice, Brittany and I have started bonding. I had been feeling pretty down and lacking some energy, but man, those vegetables were quite a pick-me-up, and I told Brittany how much I appreciated her efforts at the challenge, how she came through when I really needed it, and she took that to heart, and we went down to the beach and we had a great conversation, got to know each other a little bit more, and you know what? Maybe Brittany's not out of this game yet. So now let's see what the Horse tribe is up to. And it looks like the Horse tribe is just taking a night off from the game. They don't need to vote. They don't need to strategize. There's no need to drive any wedges in between the group. Seems like everyone is getting along well. Joe's keeping the idol close by. So they're just resting up with the goal of coming out strong again and winning another immunity challenge. So now let's head off to Tribal Council. And as expected, we have a majority 4 taking on the 2 guys. If one of the guys were to go home here, Beach would have a distinct advantage. They'd be up 2 numbers now if original tribes held and got back together at the merge. With Kyle already gone and potentially Charlie or Steve to follow, that would give Beach a 9-7 advantage at this point in the game. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We still have 2 idols here, and everyone has made their votes. And Charlie has played his idol. I like that move. I think that at this point in the game, with such few numbers on your tribe and a lot of uncertainty, there's no harm in playing the idol. Chances are you only have to win 1 or 2 more challenges, and then you're at the merge and potentially a lot safer than you were. So why risk it? In worst cases, you didn't need the idol, but you're still in the game. You have an advantage knowing how the idols are hidden this season, so you know what to be looking for. So it's always better to play an idol but not need it than to leave with it in your pocket. So I think Charlie had that in mind as he stepped up and presented the idol. Oh, but we're not done yet. Jamin has played her idol. I wonder if that's a tell. Maybe Jamin knew, we all voted for Charlie, and now he's not going home, and it could definitely be me. It might only take 1 or 2 votes for me to go home, so let me play my idol too. Maybe she felt she wasn't getting along quite as well with the guys, or thought maybe she didn't need to have any kind of a relationship with them, and didn't want that to come back to haunt her. So we have Charlie safe, we have Jamin safe, and now let's finally see where the votes fall. So first vote is for Charlie, and does not count. Second vote, Charlie, also does not count. Third vote, Charlie, does not count. Charlie, does not count. So after 4 votes have been read, no votes are valid. So great play from Charlie, they were coming after him. And now we have a vote for Jamin, and that doesn't count either. Wow, are we going to have all 6 votes invalidated? The final vote? Oh, the final vote is for Danielle. This is crushing for her. I can't think of a time when there was only 1 valid vote, and that's all it took to eliminate someone. Oh, what a heartbreaking exit for Danielle. She seemingly did everything right so far. She was in a power alliance in her original tribe. After the swap, she again found the majority, and yet here she is, idled out of the game 4th. This is definitely going to take some time to get over, I can guarantee you that. And coincidence or not, after 4 episodes, we've lost 3 of our 5 winners. I'm wondering if Jamin or Angela have picked up on that fact and feeling a little less safe now. Because once an idea like that takes hold, it can spread really quickly through the rest of the players in the game. Let's reveal the votes. So no surprise, the 4 girls voted for Charlie. I wonder if it was close, as if, they were debating all afternoon between Charlie and Steve and they just happened to pick Charlie. And then that would leave Charlie and Steve to not be on the same page either. We saw they stopped working together. Charlie ended up voting for Jamin, which did not count. So that leaves Steve with the dagger vote for Danielle. Initially, when this tribe got together, there seemed to be some promise between those 2. They found common ground, both having gone to the same college, and even coming out of college entered the same industry, but Survivor's a tough game, and hopefully they can be friends afterwards, but for now, I don't think Danielle is the least bit interested in hearing an apology from Steve. And after such a shocking result, I have to give Danielle credit for making the time to chat with me for a few minutes. Danielle, what was the first thought that was going through your head as you got voted out?
Oh, you people.
Yeah, that was no doubt a tough situation to be in, so what happened there?
I have no idea. Literally no idea.
So of course it was a blindside. What were you thinking when Charlie pulled out the idol and stood up?
At that point, I was pretty nervous, to be honest.
And then it turns out Steve was the one who voted for you. How do you feel about that?
I was really surprised. I think it was kind of a dumb move. And then I was voted out.
So Danielle, what was your overall takeaway from the game?
I'm a firm believer in fate, and I think every domino that fell kind of led me to be where I am.
And having played with a bunch of the players in the game, do you have a winner pick at this point?
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
Thanks again, Danielle. I hope she's able to put this behind her fairly quickly. There are some who never really get over being blindsided at Tribal in such a shocking fashion, so hopefully that's not the case with her. And let's put that behind us as well and move on to episode 5. So as we continue to move through the pre-merge portion of the game, we have 2 tribes, the Beach and the Rice tribe with 5 members, while the horse tribe still has all 6 from the swap. So let's check in on the camp life. So at the beach tribe, we still have this loose girls alliance. Now that Charlie pulled a fast one on them at the last tribal council, it remains to be seen if that draws these 3 even closer together than they already are, now that they have a common enemy. Autumn in particular is quite livid, as Danielle was one of her closest allies, and that last vote was especially damaging to her game. Steve and Charlie still kind of floundering around. They're not together, they're not with anyone else. So from their perspective, their best chance is probably just to give it all in the challenges and hope that they don't finish last. So over at Rice, we don't have a lot of movement. We still have the very strong guys alliance, and then what we're calling the girls alliance, even though a couple episodes ago they didn't vote down those lines. So if this group goes back to tribal council, it seems likely that the guys will pull in either Brittany or Meredith and vote out the other, and probably as simple as that. And now over at Horse, we still have our group of 6. Yeah, we have these alliances on paper, but they really haven't been tested yet, as they haven't gone to a tribal council. At the moment, Joe seems to be the most interesting player on the tribe, as he's got an idol, he's got a slight disagreement with Rob in the past, and also a little something going on with Mare, perhaps. So where he ends up going will likely influence the first time the horse tribe has to vote, if they end up ever going to a tribal council. So now let's head off to a reward challenge. And this challenge is called In the Barrel. So you're going to have 3 members of each tribe tied together, and then the 4th will be put inside of a barrel. And what's going to happen is they're going to roll that barrel to some flagpoles, and then at each flagpole, the person in the barrel has to get out and unspool some rope and collect a bag of balls and then get back in the barrel. And then once they have all 3 bags of balls, they're going to roll them into some targets, kind of like skee ball. And the first tribe to land balls in all 6 of their targets wins reward. So the horse tribe has 1 extra member, bearing in mind that they can't sit out the same person in back-to-back challenges, so Larry's going to sit this one out. And in the barrel, we had Alba for beach, Angela for horse, and Dennis for rice, and it was quite a sight trying to see them get out of the barrel once it had stopped, just so dizzy. A couple bumps and bruises during the challenge, but nothing severe, so let's see how it turned out. So beach finished first, and as a result of that, they win rope and a tarp, and also some pillows and blankets, and then a couple pitchers of lemonade and iced tea. So not a bad way to spend the afternoon for them. And then the rice tribe finishes second. They win a rope and tarp, really the essential part of the reward. The lemonade and iced tea are nice, but that tarp is incredibly valuable. So the horse tribe suffers defeat, but not a big deal because it was only a reward challenge. Angela's still trying to shake off the dizziness she feels. She was not too happy about being put in the barrel, but smartly didn't cause any fuss and tension within the tribe there. So they'll try to recover at the immunity challenge, which we're going to go right into now. So the immunity challenge is air raid, and what's going to happen is that each tribe's going to climb a tower through some obstacles, and then once they get to the top, they're going to launch sandbags with a slingshot at a series of targets. And the first 2 tribes to hit all their targets wins immunity. Hopefully none of the castaways accidentally hit one of the other tribe's targets, as was famously done in this challenge in Survivor Cambodia. So now let's see what happens. And the horse tribe wins immunity, and they were incredibly smart with the reward challenge. Larry was the star of this challenge, hitting 3 different targets and giving Horse an insurmountable lead. So I'm sure they'll take immunity any day over reward. And Horse remains undefeated in immunity challenges. And now we'll see who finishes second. And Beach finishes second, so they're going to avoid going to a second straight tribal council. Actually, so far this season, no tribe has gone to tribal council 2 times in a row, so we have a lot of diversity there, so that's very nice, but not so nice for the Rice tribe, as they're going to cut their numbers from 5 to 4 in just a short while. So let's go back to the Beach tribe. And Alba's found the idol. I have to say, so after idols are played, it is not taking long for people to find the re-hidden idols. So good for Alba. She keeps improving her position in this game. Earlier on in this tribe, she was becoming appreciated by her tribe mates. Now she's found an idol. And then the cherry on top is that her and Charlie had a significant bonding moment. So the story there is that she and Charlie were on a walk to the water well when she found the idol. So he was with her when she found it. And she smartly said all the right things to him, like, "This is our idol. If you're ever in trouble, I'll play it for you." And Charlie, really with no other allies in the whole game, really responded well to that approach, so he and Alba are quite tight now. Whether Alba was just improvising because of Charlie's presence, or if it was genuine, well, that remains to be seen, and we'll definitely be keeping our eye on that situation. And no sooner did I say it before that another idol was put into place, because 2 were played last episode, and Dennis has found it now. So Dennis is also in a great position. Tight alliance, majority in the small tribe, and an idol. And right as he was returning to camp, he walked into a major blow-up in progress between Meredith and Mark. So after Rice won a tarp at reward, Mark wanted to do a little remodeling of the shelter to properly fit the tarp in place. But as he was doing so and lugging some heavy logs on his shoulder, he accidentally turned and knocked Meredith right in the head. Now, Meredith had been trying to hold on to her temper for days, actually, just given that she's not in a good situation on this small tribe, coupled with the fact that she saw Danielle went home at the last tribal council. When Mark hit her with that log, it just put her over the edge, and he tried to just take it and listen, but eventually enough was enough, and he was yelling right back. And I have to say, as someone in the camp when that was happening, it was a really uncomfortable situation, and I got out of there pretty quickly and let them work it out. Meanwhile, Brittany could be seen smiling over this whole situation as she knew that Meredith might have just put herself on the bottom. So we'll definitely be looking forward to Tribal Council now with this group, but before that, let's take a quick detour to Horse. So on the Horse tribe, Joe is still hanging on to that idol. At this rate, he's going to have it well into the merge and might be able to make a big move with it later on in the game. So he'll sit tight with that for now. And then in other developments, Mare and Larry have started to bond as well. With the stress-free environment of their tribe, never having to lose a challenge to go to Tribal Council, the 2 of them had some great fireside chats. But if you looked real hard in the distance, there was Rob standing there with his arms crossed, not so happy that his other alliance mate is now beginning to get a little comfortable with Mare. So Rob files that one away, and he's going to have to think about what to do here. Is the smart move just to try to pull Mare over to his side, give them a 4-2 advantage, or is it the exact opposite and now she's the target because she's getting too close with his allies? We'll have to see if this gets resolved anytime soon, as this tribe has shown no signs of losing. So speaking of losing, let's head over to Tribal Council with the Rice tribe. So we have the Rice tribe, we have Tribal Council, and oh my goodness, Meredith has been medevaced from the game. The tribe was getting ready to leave for Tribal, and we had just picked up our torches and were starting to walk down the beach when Meredith felt a little bit woozy, needed to sit down on the beach. We tried to give her some water, but it wasn't really helping her at all. So the medical team came in and Dr. Joe checked her out, and the diagnosis was that she actually suffered a concussion from the accident that she had had earlier in the day with Mark. So it was quite an emotional time as Meredith was loaded into the helicopter and they took off, and Jeff visited the camp and just kind of sat around with us, and luckily he did say that as a result of this there would be no Tribal Council, so if there was any kind of a silver lining it was that. Mark was very emotional during this time, clearly didn't mean to cause any harm, was actually trying to do the tribe good in getting that tarp set up, but things just escalated quickly and one thing led to another, and now the Rice tribe has lost Meredith. Now through adversity like this, you're either going to see the tribe bond stronger than ever and overcome these odds, or really this might be the last straw, and they're going to be caught in a bad situation that they just can't get out of. So I hate to give more bad news, but at this time Meredith is still recovering from her injury. She's going to be fine, but at the moment she's not in any condition to be doing exit press, so we're just going to have to leave this there, and we'll see you in episode 6. Get well soon, Meredith. So entering episode 6, we have our 3 tribes, each with a different number of tribe mates on the tribe. The Beach tribe still with 5, Rice down to 4, and Horse still with all 6. So let's see what, if anything, has been going on at the beach camp. So our girls are still aligned, but not very strong. Some of them still harboring bad feelings towards Charlie for the blindside he pulled on them a couple episodes ago. Autumn was even voicing the idea of potentially throwing the next challenge just to take revenge on him, but Alba and Jamin didn't seem too receptive to that idea, so for now it's kind of on the back burner. And over at Rice, Dennis, Mark, and I still continue to be a very tight alliance. Not a lot of margin for error, though, as Brittany might be the only easy vote left in this tribe before we have to start turning on each other, and we certainly would not like to do that before a merge hits. So, gonna give it our all at the next immunity challenge. And then at Horse, we have our two unproven alliances divided by gender. We have seen Mare kind of dabbling back and forth between the groups, maybe trying to position herself as a key swing vote for later on. But until this group goes to Tribal Council, this is merely speculation. So let's go off to the reward challenge. And heading into the reward challenge, there were quite a few shocked faces to learn that Meredith had been medevaced. Amanda and Autumn in particular seemed very concerned and demanded to know answers from Jeff. Well, this is unfortunate. There is no description of the reward challenge. I guess we're left to just imagine some kind of challenge that the three tribes are participating in. Let's just make something up real quick then. Let's say each of the three tribes had to get into a boat and paddle out into the water and grab a set of puzzle pieces and then kind of circle around a buoy and then head back. So these are the types of challenges where you might see one tribe kind of drifting off into the middle of the ocean as they fail to steer their boat properly. And then once you get back to the beach, you might have to dig in the sand so that you could go underneath a piece of bamboo lying on the ground and then maybe do a crawl under some netting before finally getting to the puzzle and putting it together. So let's say that's what our challenge was. And winning the challenge will be the beach tribe. Also kind of letting me down again, doesn't even show what the reward is. So let's say the reward was 3 chickens and a rooster. And then for second place goes to the Rice tribe, and they'll get a basket of eggs. So some good protein coming their way should help immensely for the immunity challenge. And Horse again loses the reward challenge, but maybe sitting out their best players just so that they can continue to maintain their edge in the immunity challenges. So let's go off to the immunity challenge. And we have nothing again. So my theory is that in actual Survivor Cambodia, this is right around the time where Terry left the game due to his son's emergency. So there was no quote-unquote episode 6 or reward or immunity challenge. So I guess we're just kind of on the fly here. So let's draw inspiration from David versus Goliath. And one of the challenges there they did was the tribes had to carry this giant saucer to a water tower and then fill it with water, bring it back to their station while crossing some obstacles and a balance beam or two, and then dumping it into their bowl until the water level rose high enough for a flag to come up, at which time 2 other members could start on a puzzle. So that sounds good. Let's make that our immunity challenge. And the beach tribe wins immunity, so they're on a mini roll right now. Great teamwork. Maybe this 5 isn't completely functional as a strategic group, but are definitely acting like a well-oiled machine in challenges. So congratulations to Beach, another night off for them. And then the Rice tribe has also won immunity, and they really needed it. Did not want to go down to only 3 members coming into the merge. Could have been easy picking at that time. So we're going to get to see something we haven't seen yet, and that's a Horse Tribal Council. But before we do that, let's head back to Beach. So Beach, now 2 episodes removed from Tribal Council, isn't seeing a lot of drama. Alba still has the idol as a reminder, and a potential close alliance with Charlie. And everything else is great. There hasn't been any drama over the chickens. The group has just decided, we need to eat these chickens ASAP before another swap or a merge. So they're feasting tonight and feeling great. Over at the Rice tribe, a fairly similar story. Dennis has the idol, but not a lot of strategic talk going on. There's not a lot of strategic talk even to have with only 4 players, 3 of which are very closely aligned. Brittany's only in at the moment seems to be that she bonded well with me earlier. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened at Tribal Council last time had there been a real vote, if that would have bought Brittany any goodwill, if that fight between Meredith and Mark would have resulted in Meredith going home anyway, but these are things we'll never know the answer to. So now let's get over to the tribe of interest, which is the Horse tribe. So over at Horse, Joe has the idol, and he's starting to think about whether he might need to use it or not. He's at least going to bring it with him to Tribal Council. And then our Girls Alliance at Horse, in the face of having to visit Tribal Council, has strengthened a little bit. They're now up to a medium strength. So the 3 of them have each committed to vote the same way at this Tribal Council, I'd have to believe both Amanda and Angela are on board with that. Mare, however, we'll see what Mare does. She's been flirting a little bit with the other side, has something going with Larry, has maybe a little more something going with Joe, and then Rob doesn't really seem to have or want any relationship with Mare at this moment, so we'll have to see if these are subplots to our tribal council. So Horse is at tribal council, and it was quite an interesting discussion, and after some time, it's now time to vote. And Joe has played the idol. He was getting some bad vibes during tribal earlier. Thought initially he wasn't going to need it, but just based on the way the conversation went, thought he did not want to take any chances here, so made sure to save himself, and is now hoping that the votes lead to another favorable outcome for him. So let's open up the urn and pull out those pieces of paper. So the first vote's for Joe, and does not count. Another vote for Joe, which does not count. That's 1 vote for Amanda. 2 votes Amanda. 1 vote for Angela. Will we have a tie? No, and Amanda is voted out with 3 votes. So this just continues the trend of the downfall of the very strong alliance that was on the original Beach Tribe. We're losing their members in quick succession. Autumn is really going to be scrambling to find someone she could turn to. So Joe didn't actually end up needing the idol. He only got 2 votes, but it probably felt good for him to cancel out a couple. He didn't look like a complete fool in playing that idol. Amanda, on the other hand, wishes that someone was there to play an idol for her once again now that she really needed it, but there was no saving grace to be found, and Amanda, always a big personality, just seemed to have a bit of a quiet season this time. Had she stuck around longer, I'm sure we would have gotten some memorable moments and sound bites from her, but it was not to be. So let's see what the votes were. So it's no surprise that the 3 guys stuck together, and they were the 3 that targeted Amanda. And then, despite learning that we had a now medium-strength alliance on the girls' side, they still didn't all vote together. We had Angela voting for Joe, and Mare voted for Joe, which is kind of a surprise. Maybe she wanted to prove herself, or maybe she was very sneaky and told Joe, play your idol, I'm going to vote for you to keep up appearances with my group, but I really don't want you to go home, wink. And then Amanda cast a fairly puzzling vote for Angela. Amanda, if you can fill me in on what that was about, please do. So again, a really tough situation for Amanda. Just a few episodes ago, she had still all of her old mates from the original Beach Tribe. She was on a tribe that was cruising along and had won challenge after challenge, but everything just unraveled very quickly for her, and she's going to fall a step or 2 short of the merge. So I'm very happy we have Amanda here for a few questions. So, Amanda, shoot me straight. How are you doing?
Oh my gosh.
I am so mad right now. I'm so mad right now.
Yeah, I know this is definitely a story we've seen before play out with you.
This happens every freaking time. I've gone home because people pulled idols a lot in this game.
Okay, so maybe you're shooting a little too straight, so relax a little bit, take a deep breath, and I'll ask you the easiest question imaginable and let you run with it. So, do you have any thoughts right now, Amanda?
I have a lot of thoughts, Jim. I have a lot of thoughts. So this is what getting blindsided feels like. I cannot believe it. At Tribal, I was like, someone's gonna be surprised tonight, and it might be me, but really that was just like, throw that in there. I didn't actually think it was gonna be me.
So ever since the swap happened, we've been speculating on what the dynamics were like at the Horse Tribe, but we never really had a sense since you guys never had to go to tribal council. Did you yourself have a feel for where you stood in that tribe and just the overall thoughts on your winning ways?
I never understood when tribes on Survivor that are winning say, I'm bored, when are we going to get to play the game? But now I understand.
So it sounds like you agree in that maybe going to a tribal council a little earlier could have been beneficial for you. So how surprised were you when Joe played an idol?
Really surprised.
My heart like dropped way down here.
And so you might not have known about Joe's idol, but you probably had a feel that the guys are going to stick with each other. Did you think you were going to be their target?
Nope. Not what I was expecting to happen, but the cards fall as they may.
So we have a little more insight into the tribe now, but probably not as much as you. So if Horse has to go back to tribal council, who do you think is next?
I'm not really sure. If I had to guess who was next, I would probably say Mare.
Okay, Amanda, well, hopefully for your sake in Survivor Branford Season 6, I go with a twist of perhaps no idols at all so that you don't fall into a similar situation again. Alright, bye Amanda.
Peace.
Okay, let's get another step closer to the merge and go on to episode 7. So we have our final 14, and these players have definitely been through a lot to this point, but they've only gotten back to the original starting point of a Survivor Branford season, 14 players, so still quite a bit left to go. So in episode 7, we have a twist, and what's going to happen is that we're going back from 3 tribes to 2 tribes. We'll have 2 tribes of 7. And let's take a look at what we've got. On the new beach tribe, we have Angela, Autumn, Charlie, Jamin, myself, Joe, and Mare. You know, you couldn't have picked a tribe with less relationships going on from earlier in the game. Really, all I see here is you have the Joe-Mare alliance, and that's about it. If you think about the original beach, you had Autumn in one alliance, Jamin in a failed alliance, and Angela in no alliance. And then if you think about the original Rice tribe, Charlie and I weren't working together either. So there's definitely opportunities to form new bonds among this group, some players running into each other for the first time. So that leaves this group on Rice. So we have Alba, Brittany, Dennis, Larry, Mark, Rob, and Steve. So here we've got Larry, Rob, and Steve reuniting. They were originally an extremely strong alliance on Rice. Dennis and Mark continue to stay together. They've been together since day 1 and are very tight. And then Brittany and Alba, who've worked closely together in a season of Survivor Branford, haven't really been so much working together in this season here. You might think that both groups of guys will try to work with them. It's already been well established that these groups of guys are against each other from really the first vote of the game. You'd have to think that they're going to continue to be at war here as opposed to try to put aside their differences and vote Alba or Brittany out. So those are my first impressions. Let's see what the original alliances look like. So this is actually pretty dumb. We have a new beach alliance here, which is the entire tribe. There's no such thing as the entire tribe's in an alliance, so I'll just skip over that. And then below, we see Angela and Mare in an alliance, and that makes sense given that they were on the horse tribe together. They did vote the same way. I'm not totally ready to discount the Joe and Mare alliance. Maybe that's an unofficial alliance, but sounds good to me. On the Rice tribe, we also have this nonsense of the entire group in an alliance, so let's look at the one on the bottom, and this is the one I pointed out before. And though it doesn't show Dennis and Mark in an alliance, I have to think that they're continuing to work very closely together, even without me being there. Let's take a look at the reward challenge. So this reward challenge is slip, slide, and score. What's going to happen is that we're going to have one member from each tribe step forward, and they are going to get a running start and slide down this slippery surface. They'll then be grabbing a ball and trying to shoot it in a basket. And we're playing to 3. Now, just as a little inside info, I've actually considered trying to make this kind of a challenge work for Survivor Branford. Haven't given up on it yet, but some of the logistics seem a little tough. So maybe for any of the castaways listening, you might see this, maybe this year, maybe not, but it's definitely something I've had in mind for a while now. So let's see who wins. And the new Rice tribe wins the challenge. So they're going to have a great afternoon together. They're going to have a picnic delivered to camp, a great opportunity to just bond as a new group and enjoy a nice lunch, and hopefully fuel up for the immunity challenge. So let's fast forward to the immunity challenge. And this challenge is Cambodian catering. So this is the gross food eating competition. We're going to have tribe mates face off one-on-one, and whoever gets down their dish first and shows an empty mouth scores a point, and the first tribe to get 4 points will win immunity. And all of a sudden I'm thinking Amanda might not mind having just been voted out. And the Rice tribe wins immunity. Even though they had full bellies from that reward challenge, they're certainly not going to pass up another opportunity at food here, despite how disgusting it might be, and this group is going to be safe. During the challenge, one of the most impressive things might have been the way that Dennis really attacked the balut that he was forced to eat. He was given 2 balut and really got them down without an issue. And his efforts really inspired the tribe and set the tone, and they won quite easily here. So let's go over to the beach tribe, who is now preparing for tribal council. And oh no, Angela and Autumn are at it again. They've had a major fight. As the beach tribe was returning to camp, Autumn was trying to keep everyone's mood up and saying, you know, you guys did great, tough luck. But Angela was in no mood to sugarcoat the situation, and basically asked Autumn if that meant she was willing to volunteer to be voted out. And that comment didn't go over too well with Autumn, who then reminded Angela of their history together in Survivor Branford Season 2 and Season 4, both times in which Angela voted her out. And then things just got downright ugly. Jamin and Charlie had to step in and take Autumn to the side, while Mare and I tried to bring Angela away and get those two separated so that cooler heads could prevail. It's never comfortable to witness a fight like that, but you have to think for everyone that was not involved, it was great for them because they're not being looked at as a target now. Everyone is still trying to figure out where they fit in this new tribe. There's not a lot of pre-established alliances here, so it was just bad timing for Angela to let her temper get to her like that. And we'll have to see if that disrupts what might have been earlier plans laid by the members of this tribe prior to the challenge. So let's take a look at the Rice tribe. And a lot of the members of the Rice tribe, when they got back to camp, having eaten 2 days in a row, they just needed to go take a nap. So not a lot of strategic conversation going on here. We do have 2 players on this tribe with idols, Alba and Dennis. Neither will have to use them tonight. Both of them probably thinking about what's happening on the Beach tribe, given that they have allies over there, and hoping that they'll be able to see them again at the next challenge. So the Beach tribe gets the tribal council, and surprisingly, there wasn't a total rehash of the Angela-Autumn fight. Both were very composed, gave pretty diplomatic answers. We even got an apology or two, so that was very encouraging to see, but nonetheless, someone has to go. So the castaways all vote, and the first vote is for Autumn, and the second vote is for Autumn, so 2 votes Autumn. And now we have a vote for Mare, and a third vote for Autumn, so 3 votes Autumn, 1 vote Mare, and another vote for Mare. 3 votes Mare, so we're tied. And let's see what the last vote is. And Mare has been voted out. Pretty surprising result. We have 4 votes for Mare, 3 votes for Autumn. So let's just jump right in to see who voted which way, because I think that'll help tell the story a little bit here. Okay, so voting in the minority was Angela. So despite her trying to be very polite and diplomatic at Tribal Council, really was leading the charge against Autumn after having that blow-up with her. And she was able to leverage her relationship with Mare to get Mare on board with that plan. And Mare was able to leverage her relationship with Joe to get him involved, so it was the 3 of them, while the others, Autumn, Charlie, Jamin, and myself, all voted for Mare. I think that our foursome had just come to the conclusion that Mare was so dangerous in this game. We had seen how easily it is for her to form bonds with people, and just as a dangerous social player in the game, we figured you have to get that out as soon as you can. Break up the power couple with her and Joe. So for this vote, our foursome was united for a cause, but I'm still a little iffy if we're going to continue to all work together so smoothly going forward. That's not a sure thing. I mean, you think that potentially the next vote could be for Angela or for Joe, but as you see time and again in Survivor, things can change without warning. So it's disappointing to see Mare disapparate, but she has left the game. However, I'm pleased to be able to have the chance to get a few words with her, so let's bring her in. Mare, how are you feeling after that last vote?
I'm still a little shocked.
So overall, how would you assess where you were at going into this latest Tribal Council?
I was playing a shaky game, I had a lot of balls in the air, and clearly I let some fall through.
So do you think your chances would have been any better had the tribes not swapped again?
I had a good plan if our tribes stayed together, but obviously everything just shifted, so.
So people were really taking note out there of your ability to befriend other people, and in particular when you seemed to go out of your way to bond with Larry. How do you feel about that now that you're out of the game?
I'm really regretting that moment.
Ooh, I didn't know you thought that was so detrimental to your game. Hopefully Larry is not listening right now.
Jim, clip that piece out.
Unfortunately, I don't think I could do that. We're semi-live here, so just gonna have to stay. So Mare, where do you think everyone goes from here?
I don't know.
I will be definitely curious to see what happens.
And Mare, I am sorry for having been one of the people that cast a vote for you this time.
No hard feelings.
Thanks, really do appreciate the sportsmanship, and glad to have you as a part of this.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, and I didn't have the heart to tell Mare just now that she fell just short of the merge. And seeing as we're going to start episode 8 with the merge, I thought now would be a great time to take a break and just to ensure that this video isn't 3 hours long. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this and this isn't a huge swing and a miss. Feel free to leave comments, let me know what you think. Make predictions for how you think the season's going to turn out. And I'm glad the simulation seems to have nailed quite a few things that I think would have happened in reality. So I'll have the conclusion to this posted in a week, and I will see you next time.